And we're live. Hello and welcome to the second test episode of the Today's Geek podcast. We still don't have a name yet, but that's all right. My name is Nate. I'm joined with Drew and Anthony, who's currently struggling with Brazier's online store.
I'm gonna kill somebody!
Today we're going to talk about a couple of different things.
We're gonna die.
We're just going to see how this works, and for our first topic, I'm going to toss it over to Drew.
First topic. So I was doing some reading today. I was kind of excited about this for the last kind of bit, but apparently Rare and Microsoft. Does Microsoft own Rare Games right now?
Yeah,
I think so.
So
Yes.
Microsoft is planning on revamping a bunch of classic games, including Banjo-Kazooie. What's that other one? Dark Zero.
Perfect Dark.
Yeah, Perfect Dark. That's it. Perfect Dark and Battletoads, which is the one that I got really excited about.
Reason it's a blaze. I've never played Battletoads.
Is Jet Force Gemini coming back?
I hope so. I would be so down to play that game.
I'd buy that for $1.
Right? But I don't know. I heard about it. I got kind of excited, and then I also got kind of like, I have this thing about classics and revamping them, and like, I tend to like the classics as they are, and I like the nostalgia factor for what they are, unless it's just like, hey, we're going to take the original Battletoads game and we're going to, upgrade the graphics a little bit, but it's still going to be a 2D, scroller or whatever. But I don't know. I at the same time would be really, really pumped to get like a Battletoads 3D world kind of game or something along those lines. I just remember that I pumping hours and hours into that game and not being able to get past the fucking motorbike level for the life of me.
I think the one really nice thing about a lot of these HD collections coming out is when systems get a bit more rare. Like, the Nintendo 64 isn't an expensive system to get your hands on, but to get a controller is actually surprisingly expensive.
Well, I believe
especially
that.
one that hasn't been molested or just beat to snot.
Is there one that's in good condition?
Yeah. Well, you look at them, like all the thumbsticks, you just kind of like hold the controller and the thumbstick just waggles about.
We need to give that controller some Viagra.
Yup, pretty much.
Cialis. Go!
I really
Like there's one person who's got a controller and he's like trying to shove the Cialis into the little the controller end. Come on, baby, I believe in you.
I was actually surprised the first time I jumped onto eBay and like just Google searched like Nintendo 64 controller, because I was like, these used to be at GameStop for like $5. You could get like a pack of them for $20.
Oh my god!
But now they're like honestly $45 to $50, even up to $75 per controller.
That doesn't surprise me.
And that's for like an okay condition used one in like the stock gray color. If you want any of like the cool purple.
Are you talking about like an original Nintendo, or are you talking about like a knockoff brand?
No, like Nintendo, like the official Nintendo 64 controllers.
Hot damn, man.
Because I'm assuming like you could probably get a cheaper Mad Catz or other type controller. Sorry, I got distracted. I think
kidding, man.
I think Oregon just intercepted the ball. Did you see speaking of retro games? Did you see the stuff about Final Fantasy VII? Where they're
coming
re-releasing it for the PlayStation platforms?
That's such like so for from somebody who's like favorite game in the entire universe is Final Fantasy VII, right?
That's why I asked.
Bullshit. Like, hey, we're gonna milk you for more money. Woo! Like, it's just the same game. Like, they didn't do anything. They updated the graphics on the PC version a little bit so it looks cleaner, but it's like that's all it is. It just looks cleaner. They haven't done any like updating or anything along those lines. I mean, if they wanted to, and I mean like if they really wanted to remake this game at some point and sell a bazillion copies, they could just like update the graphics to like PS4 standards, keep it with the original text and everything, right? Don't get any voice acting or anything like that. Just like update it so it looks good, and then sell it for like $15 a pop. I mean, people would you would make a killing on that. I'd buy a fucking PS4 just to play that,
I know they had an interview with it was one of the design heads at Sony talking about the actual mechanics of doing that, because they were considering doing it for a while, and I think when they were talking about the math, this this is like an article that I read on, I think it was IGN at one point.
Sure.
They would have to sell the game. It would have to at least sell, I mean, at minimum sell, I think it was 3 or 4 million copies at like $100 a head.
What?
That's a lie.
Well, no, it's because they can't salvage almost any of it. They have to make textures because that game really didn't have a lot of texture to it.
Yeah.
So they basically have to generate all the assets for the textures. They have to redo all the animations because if you throw next generation textures on everything and they're still moving like stick figures kind of thing, it looks super janky.
That's true.
When they were talking about it, it was basically like rebuilding the whole game, and then they were talking about like, well, if we're going to do that, yeah, we could regenerate all the text, but they would have to go through and like resample the audio, resample the sound effects, resample the music, or re-record the music in that case.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would buy even an update to that. Like, I would be so happy to buy that, but not for like, I don't know, if it's an update and it's like, I don't know, you release it on like the arcade or something like that. Like Xbox Arcade or more likely the PS Store, right? Like, I would be willing to pay like $30 for that, I think. Tops. And I mean, like, and that being said, like, I still own my original PlayStation with my original copy of Final Fantasy VII. So, like, and I own it on the PC. So, like, if I really wanted to play it right now, I absolutely could. And I do. I pick it up and I start over. I've played the first, like, 10 hours of the game more times than I can count. But it's just one of those things where it's like, give me a reason to replay it at this point, because like there's so many other new games coming out and there's so many like awesome things to get excited about. Like what's that? Final Fantasy 15's coming out, right?
Yes.
Yeah? That looks fantastic. I mean, I think it's 15. Yeah, it looks fantastic. But it's coming out for everything. So there's no console like that I'm sitting here going like I need to buy this console to play this game.
And then you have the Kingdom Hearts 2. Not Kingdom Hearts 2.
3.
Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out multi-plat.
Oh, really? That's gonna be great. I should probably find a way to play 2 at some point. Playing 1.
I believe they're re-releasing, or they may have already re-released it. It's like a 2.5 collector's edition, which has Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2.5 in it, and I think it's for PS3, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I got rid of mine to get my Xbox. So, like, or actually, I got rid of mine to get my Wii. So. Yeah.
I still have a PS3, and you're more than welcome to borrow it, because I, at this point, am not using it.
You know what I've actually thought about doing is, like, instead of buying, like a PS whatever, just, like, getting, like, a PlayStation TV or getting, like, an actual Sony TV and then subscribing to the PlayStation Now for $20 a month or whatever. And playing through all of those games I've always wanted to play on the PS3 because I didn't, like, actually own one for a long time. And then just cutting the subscription. Like, you guys won't see me on Xbox for a while. I'll be gone.
There is, that PlayStation Now service is actually coming to, there's like 7 or 8 different, like, random devices, because it's anything that runs Android TV as well. So, like, soon you're going to have all the Panasonic TVs running Android TV. It'll be all Sony TVs. There's the PlayStation Vita TV little, Is it just PS TV? There's like a $100 streaming box thing.
Yeah. I think it's a Vita TV.
And I think it's also coming to Google's releasing a box that's called, I think it's just called Android TV, maybe.
I mean, they have Android TV out already, or it's called Google TV, which is basically Android TV, right?
Google TV was this weird like fork of Android, and they were trying to trying to be TiVo without being TiVo without hardware, kind of. It was weird. It was like this. It's basically what the Xbox One does now, except the Xbox One at least has enough processing power behind it to make it smooth and make the interface work cleanly, where the Android TV was using phone hardware, so the interface was a little bit laggy on top of the little bit of lag that's in like the cable box's interface, which, I don't want to get started.
If I at least had a cable box, I could take advantage of some of that stuff, but alas, I have an antenna.
And I think that's the way to go. I think the way of the future is going to be streaming boxes, not cable TV.
The only problem with my antenna is I only get 2 channels. I'm in a spot where I get like no TV. It's great.
I would be curious if you... if you could figure out like the station that you wanted to receive that you weren't receiving, I'd be curious if maybe like you made like a
Ginormous rabbit ear.
kind of, but like basically make a parabolic antenna out of like tinfoil. So like take a piece of cardboard and make it into a curve shape, and then line the inside with smooth flat tinfoil and reflect it back at the antenna, and basically surround the back like that so you can increase the width of the antenna by 2-3-fold. I'd be curious if you could.
I might give that a shot. I mean, I've been told, or I've been reading, right, that I can probably pick up all the stations I want if I get like an outdoor antenna on top of my house or on top of my apartment. But hence, I do not own the building I live in, and hence my landlord is an asshole. So that's right, Jeff. If you're listening, you're an asshole. So I don't think I'll be able to do that anytime soon. So
yeah. So I already know that Anthony's topic, at least part of it, was regarding Destiny being named. I think it was the official PlayStation magazine named Destiny the 2014 Game of the Year.
Dumbasses.
So both of us were kind of on the same page with this. Is that for them to name Destiny their Game of the Year, and every other publication, if it's on their top 10 list, it's number 10. Literally, it's number 10.
And I just feel it's not my number 10.
And it always just makes it onto the list because at the core, like, the mechanics are awesome. Bungie knows how to make a shooter. There's no surprise.
It makes the bottom of the list because the people that made it were Bungie.
Yeah.
If the people that made if that game was made by a company that wasn't Bungie, that would not even be close to 10. There is a little bit of respect for that development house, and I think that takes away the number 10 spot for something that deserves it, like Nidhogg.
So thoughts of Nidhogg aside, I thought that was actually really telling for a couple of reasons. The most obvious being the lack of exclusives on pretty much everybody but the Wii U. The Wii U had a stellar year. I mean, they had Super Smash, they had Mario Kart, they had... wasn't there a Zelda title that was released in 2014?
Wind Waker came out around the same time the Wii U came out, but the new one comes out in 2015.
Wasn't Hyrule Warriors like the Dynasty Warriors guy?
Yeah,
Zelda?
it's like a fake Zelda title, so I don't even consider it a Zelda title.
Either way, then you also have like Bayonetta 2. Like there's some really strong fucking nutcase type exclusives.
Still doesn't make me want a Wii U.
I have one and it's awesome.
Worms, I want a Wii U. I really do want a Wii U. I just so on the site I just put up a draft for an article where I basically make the argument if you're going to have a Wii U as a secondary console, it's not a bad idea at this moment. Like right now, the best primary console is probably a PC. Because it actually fills the shoes of both an Xbox One or a PS4 and a PS3 or a Xbox 360. Because with Assassin's Creed, the better Assassin's Creed that came out this year was Assassin's Creed Rogue, only available for the PS3 and Xbox 360. The other game that's available for the next gen, Assassin's Creed Unity, was widely regarded as the not as good Assassin's Creed this year, but just a lot prettier. The PC got both. So the PC has a phenomenal library. They got a lot of old classics this year, including X-Wing and TIE Fighter, which have a very special place in my heart. So I think between the PC and the Wii U, it's surprising how little exclusives were offered by the other two. I mean, you had Sunset Overdrive, which I really liked. We had two of the better racing games so far in this generation, being Forza 5 and Forza Horizon, which obviously got my attention.
Not to be topped by Mario Kart.
Yep, exactly. How did I forget about Mario Kart?
I don't know, man.
Nintendo was irrelevant.
Oh, no.
You and your lack of Nintendo nostalgia.
No, I had a bunch
Which is
of
what
Nintendo.
they're selling. Let's be honest here. They're selling nostalgia.
I had Nintendo nostalgia, and then the N64 happened. Once the controllers started looking like female performance enhancers, they lost me. I mean, think about it. The N64 controller was I don't know what
like
ergonomics person they went to.
If this is the rocker and this is the shocker, right? Or the shocker,
Yeah.
right? This is like the what the fuck?
This is the N64.
Add a friend, baby.
The N64. The N64.
I don't even know what you would do with that.
Then
like,
then
you're right. It would be kind of like.
And you get somebody else to turn around and just stick their asshole on the other one.
then the GameCube happened, and then the GameCube's controller was shit, and then the Wii happened. So
the Wavebird was phenomenal.
The Wavebird, whatever. But then you had the Wii controller, and the Wii controller looked like you could literally get it up in there this time. And then it gave you a tablet.
The Wii U was a remote control.
The Wii U is a tablet. The Wii U's controller is a tablet. It's ridiculous.
They also have a Pro controller, which looks like a dead ringer for the Xbox.
But I have to buy it separately. It's not the standard controller for the machine. Nintendo thinks the way of the future is these weird little... They're just basically trying to make you own... Because you can. You can use a 3DS as a Wii U controller.
That's true, too.
Actually, I didn't even think about that. Props to Nintendo for actually going backwards compatible, not only with games, but with freaking hardware. Like, what other console can you take your old last-generation controllers, plug them in, and they actually will do things?
You mean like vibrate? Female private.
But no, like with Super Smash, like they have that 8-person like crazy mode. At this point, everybody has a Wii, so people usually have like 3 or 4 of the Wii modes with the stupid nunchuck, and people have like 3 or 4 GameCube controllers sitting around. So you can get an 8-person game going without going to the store and spending like $300 on controllers, which I really like that, because if I could plug my not so much with the PS3, because I really didn't like the PS3 controller because the stupid both the thumbsticks on top were convex instead of concave. So like your finger, if you got sweaty, they would slide off the thumbsticks, and then also the triggers instead of being like an Xbox One controller where it curves like this.
I do appreciate that.
A PS4 controller curves out. Or a PS3 controller. The PS4 controller now curves in.
I like both controllers. I think the Xbox is still the superior controller. I think the Xbox, the family of Xbox controllers since the Xbox S for the original Xbox is probably they've probably been the reigning king of controllers for a long time.
I don't know, the DualShock 4 is a pretty fucking good controller.
It's a pretty good controller, but I just don't think that thumbsticks should be parallel to each other anymore. I just really think it's uncomfortable.
The one thing I will give, the one thing that drives me nuts about both the DualShock 3 and the DualShock 4 is the batteries cannot be replaced, which is annoying. Because it is kind of nice being able to say, oh shit, I want to still have a wireless controller, and it's out of batteries, and not having to absolutely, without a doubt, plug it in. Okay, so do you guys have that link that I sent you earlier?
No.
Okay. Are you still trying to futz with...
Yes, I'm still trying. I want a keyboard. Damn it, leave me alone.
Okay. Drew, you go to the link that I sent you.
I didn't get it. I just got your picture of the setup. I didn't get your...
Wait, it's in the Hangout window.
Where's the I'm on a Nexus.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'll send you a special link.
Hey, thank you.
Oh, that is a sexy-looking car.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, so the 3 cars that Ford unveiled today was the replacement for the Ford GT. For those that don't know, back in the 1970s, I believe, Ford, in a great move to piss off Mr. Ferrari himself, decided that they wanted to enter Le Mans actually, let me send you this link.
Oh my God, these look spectacular.
Ford is on point with design. I sent you the link, Anthony. So the whole story behind that cool, the mid-engine sports car thing.
Yeah.
Back in the 1970s, when Ford wanted to get into Le Mans, they wanted to get into racing and all the performance cars. What they did is he went to Ferrari and they were trying to make a deal because Ferrari needed money. They were a little bit on empty at that moment, and they were like at the very end. It was like midnight before that deal would have been live. They would have signed the contract, and Ford would have effectively absorbed Ferrari. But at the last second, Enzo jumped out of the deal, and Henry Ford was pissed. He had a real desire to go racing. This was a great way for him to get in, and now that door had just been slammed in his face at the last second. Yeah. So he basically went back to the skunk works at Ford and said, fuck this guy, we're going to beat him at his own game in Le Mans. And so that's when they started the GT40 project, and they came out with that gorgeous car. And the whole reason it was called the GT40 is because it was a Grand Touring car for Le Mans, and it was 40 inches from the ground to the top of the car, which 40 inches, me sitting down in the chair, it's like here.
That's shorter than my car. My car's short, man.
Yeah, no, it's like ridiculously short. It's one of the few cars that you could actually do the stupid Fast and the Furious drive under the tractor trailer thing, because it is on the ground. So today they unveiled the successor to that car, which is phenomenally gorgeous. They unveiled the 2016 F-150 SVT Raptor, which that's a mouthful, which is their high-performance truck. And they also unveiled the Mustang GT 350R, which is the raced-out version of the racy version of the Mustang GT.
Yeah, all of these cars are sexy as hell. Ooh.
And I think Ford is stepping it up. They're no longer the Ford of the 1990s where they were just kind of like, it's a Ford, and it's kind of like an American car, which isn't necessarily good. But I was really impressed, and I really think that it's really nice to see both Ford and Dodge and Chrysler kind of sticking it to the Germans and the Japanese, saying, hey, look, we can design too. We can make cool cars. And it hasn't been that way for a long time. It's been kind of depressing.
Well, Honda hasn't made a cool Honda hasn't made a cool looking car for a long time, except for the last couple years. But other than that, like when the Civic wanted the redesign, it looked like a goddamn electric razor. It looked like a computer mouse. It looked like the Civic.
Which generation?
Like 05. No, not the 05. When it had the big redesign. When it had the big... When it went from looking like the Fast and the Furious sedan to the big redesign with like the squinty headlights.
Wait, okay, so that car had like a three redesigns in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
It went from that like old school, like the boxy kind of angular nose and squared off tail to the egg-shaped hatchback, which was 05. And from 05, I think it was in 2010, they redesigned it once, and they made it super angular, which nobody liked. They redesigned it again for 2013, about a year and a half later, and they made it even more angular because they were like, people didn't like this, so let's sharpen it up a bit. And that didn't work at all. And then finally they came to the new one in 2013.
But you are right in the fact that America hasn't made a cool looking car in a long time.
So did you get that web link open?
I did. I looked at them. The GT40 looks like something out of Italy.
It does.
Yes, it does. There's so much European. I could smell the wine and cheese. It's very impressive. The SVT Raptor looks like an SVT Raptor. It looks, you see a bunch of them on the dealer's lot now because no one's buying them. But it's impressive. And the Mustang looks ridiculous. The Mustang looks like the Mustang Marty McFly would have in Back to the Future. But I think when you say like America's starting to design cool cars again, I think Ford gets it. I think Ford's getting it. I don't think that Dodge is getting it like you're saying, because the Dart is ugly. The Charger redesign is all right. I like the Challenger because I'm a muscle car guy.
Well, so it's the stuff that they're getting right on the enthusiast side are the Hellcats. And have either of you seen anything about the Hellcats?
No.
Okay,
But
so
I just have to say one thing. Dodge Nitro, and I'm leaving it. I'm dropping the mic. I'm out. Dodge Nitro.
Hold on. I have something to say about all this.
They
Especially to
discontinued.
Anthony, who's like Honda doesn't make a sexy looking car. Look at this sexy looking car right there. Right there in the description. Take a look.
I know your car. I know your car. Your car is very cool. I was trying to get your car.
Say it again.
I wanted to get that CRZ. I think the CRZ is very cool.
I'm just saying, it could do better in the snow, but it's not that bad. It's pretty great.
So I don't think you're quite right about Honda, because I think they've definitely come around both with the Accord. I mean, the CRZ looks cool. They're finally. I wasn't so hot on the redesigned CRV because it got a little bubbly in the back.
Sure.
But I think Acura is the one in the Honda family that kind of lost its way. Because they used to have a whole bunch of really cool cars, and even the MDX looks cool. But now they've got this kind of buck tooth thing going on in the front that, like, I kind of dig the new Lexuses because they have that kind of spindle, like, predator face grille. And I was originally kind of weirded out by it, but I'm kind of digging it now.
What the fuck are you?
So is there anything else going on in the world of technology that you can think of, aside from the fact that Razer Store isn't working?
Razer Store isn't working. Is my biggest. Anything in the world of technology? I think the video game industry is kind of leaving spring to be more muted than it has been in recent years with releases. I think we're kind of moving it. I think ever since BioShock came out in August, I think the fun starts in August. Granted, there's always going to be big games coming out throughout the year, but I really think we're at a slow stride, and I don't think next gen's hit its pace yet because there's not a lot of stuff that I see for Xbox One and PS4. Like, oh man, I gotta play that. Maybe I'm just getting old. That might be it. I just might be getting old. And also, I'm gonna ruin Drew's day and say, like, I've been playing video games for probably over 2 decades now, and I have never completed The Legend of Zelda, nor do I care to.
My heart.
The only Final Fantasy I ever played was 7, and then I got to the part where it becomes open world, and I was just like, nah, I'm done.
Oh my god.
So
all you have to do is finish 7. That's all you gotta do. Just go back I'm gonna come to your house, we're gonna go through it. It's gonna be great.
I don't know.
Your life will be changed.
When we were talking about nostalgia, I can't be pulled by nostalgia that much anymore. There's nothing that like Nintendo. I don't like what they did with the Metroid series. I do not like the Prime games.
That's fair.
I do not like Other M. I was a huge Metroid fan. Like Metroid Prime Fusion is possibly the best ever Metroid game for the Game Boy. Right? It's for the GBA.
Yeah.
That was the best ever Metroid game. So when we talk about Nintendo, going back to Nintendo and their future releases, which they have Zeldas coming out, it just doesn't. Nostalgia doesn't pull me anymore. I want new IPs, and that's why Bloodborne is probably the most exciting that's coming. Or Dying Light. I'm interested in seeing what Dying Light does, but I'm afraid it's going to be like a Dead Island type deal, so I want to see what people say.
Sure.
And also The Division. If I care about any game of 2015, it's The Division.
That is not a game. I'm just throwing this out there. With the way Ubisoft is handling all of their shit, The Division is not a game yet. Everybody who said like they've seen it like at different times throughout the year, every one of them says like the game is like this single level compartmentalized thing that can be made to do things by the developers. I don't think it's a thing yet. So I actually pulled up a list of movies.
Movies.
So I was curious what movies were coming out this year because we haven't ever talked about
American Sniper's next week.
Yup. There's really nothing. There's not a whole lot movie-wise that's coming out in January. It's pretty much the same shit that we got. Wait, is American Sniper coming out next week?
Yeah, American Sniper is Friday.
Oh, it's not even on this list. That's depressing. Okay, so I'm going through. We have. I don't know how I feel about. I like that they finally showed the sexy scenes from 50 Shades of Grey. Even though I've never read that book, I never intend to read that book.
But you love the sexy scenes.
Well, no, but like, yeah, exactly. No, that first trailer, like everybody was like saying, "Oh, like 50 Shades of Grey is like the I don't know what you want to call it. It's the most porny of the romance novels." And that first trailer was like, "This isn't even relatively like risque. This is pretty tame."
I don't know if I care about that movie, but since I have a girlfriend, I will probably be dragged to that movie.
Yeah, Ashley doesn't really have any interest in 50 Shades of Grey, so I think I'm safe on that one.
You lucked out.
Really.
Well,
Have you seen the trailers for Cappy?
yes. Or Chappie. It's Chappie.
Oh, Chappie, yes.
Chappie,
That's it.
I'm so glad we can talk about this. Chappie, wait, I had a great... Chappie is if iRobot and Johnny Five had a baby.
Oh,
That's Chappie. Chappie is iRobot and Johnny Five. That's what Chappie is. And I love everything Neil Blomkamp does, so I just want people to know if we're ever going to get a Johnny Five remake, this will probably be it. Because Johnny Five is alive. I don't care.
Drew, I'm with Anthony on this one. If you haven't seen it yet, at the end I'll send you a link to the Cappy trailer. It looks really cool. Alright, so continuing down the list, we have. I don't really care about the Divergent series.
Nope. Stop making books into movies.
That one.
So starting in April, the movie that I am anticipating greatly, Fast 7, on April 3rd.
I haven't seen Fast 6 yet. I need to see Fast 6.
Are you serious? Like, they got 7 renditions of that movie. I've seen 1 and 2, and I was done. I was out.
Well, no, see, here's what you need to do. Skip Tokyo Drift. Go to the Fast and the Furious.
No, you can never skip Tokyo Drift.
You can always skip Tokyo Drift! Tokyo Drift is terrible!
It is so good. It's like the direct-to-DVD sequel is actually... It's the direct-to-DVD sequel that actually sparked the franchise. Well, it sparked the franchise again. It actually brought it back from the dead.
Because Vin Diesel appeared in the credits. They're like, ooh, shit.
Hold on one
That's
second.
fucking nuts.
I will argue the relevancy of the Fast and the Furious series, except 3. 3 can go kick rocks.
I wasn't paying attention to the time at all. Okay, whipping through. I forgot Age of Ultron is this year.
Yeah,
I can't
buddy!
wait for that.
Woo!
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Wait, can we do a live podcast from the movie theater? We each go to a separate movie theater. We'll pull up our phones and we'll just podcast us watching the movie. We won't say a word. We're just going to watch the movie and just be like...
There's so much trouble, legal trouble brewing in that. I
didn't think about that.
We'll put all of our phones on mute and we'll just record ourselves watching the movie.
What we should do,
we'll add it to the
all
website.
go see day 1, and then that night do a reaction cast.
I'll agree with that one. I think that makes a lot of sense. And that's an excuse to go out at ridiculous times to go see that movie. I am super excited.
You really need an excuse to go out and see that movie.
No, but that's an excuse to go out and see it on.
I saw the first play of The Dark Knight Rises, and that was a good movie. I enjoyed that.
So, tearing through the rest, I'm super excited for Mad Max Fury Road.
We'll see.
Because it looks like a gorgeous visual spectacle. Other than that, I'm not sure. We have San Andreas, which is The Rock doing his thing in a natural disaster movie. I'm kind of curious because I like Chris Pratt for Jurassic World, but I'm not sure if I didn't know that Ted 2 was coming out.
Yep. I actually have a friend that's going to be in Ted 2.
Cool.
Yeah.
I did not. I'm always a big supporter behind Seth MacFarlane because I think him like Matt and Trey Parker, like they present smart humor in a dumb way, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Alright, so then we have obviously Ant-Man.
I'm pumped for that one.
Ant-Man, I'm excited. I saw the trailer and I was like, all right, Marvel, you've done it again.
Tantalize me.
Weave me a tale.
Oh shit! I gotta go pick up my. I have a copy of Guardians of the Galaxy at the UPS store that I have to pick up during hours I cannot pick up because I'm working. That's about all that is. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna pick it up.
I have the same issue anytime I had to send my laptop out for service from Apple. So it's Fantastic Four, which...
When you're just going to buy a Chroma for retail just out of spite.
There's a new Hitman movie coming out.
Oh, so not excited.
How did I not know that existed?
Because no one should know that existed.
I'm realizing I didn't. I missed a lot of stuff. And then obviously the
Black Swan 2.
Actually, even though the summer is usually the time for like the big movies, it seems like this winter is going to be pretty big because you have the Jungle Book, the Jon Favreau Jungle Book movie.
Okay.
You have a Peanuts movie. You have James Bond Spectre.
Okay.
You have
that's my birthday month usually.
You have the Mockingjay Part 2.
Yeah.
All right, I have to see Part 1 still.
And then you have obviously Mission Impossible 5, and then the biggest of the heavy hitters, The Force Awakens.
Ooh, that's a good way to end the year.
So December, November is going to be a pretty crazy.
Movie. We'll see. You're going back. I mean, I know J.J. Abrams can be trusted, but you're going back. You shouldn't have gone back. There's no going back.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I think he's a big enough fanboy where I feel comfortable with what he can do.
I'm just uncomfortable with the fact that he got to do Star Trek and Star Wars.
Well, I think he was always doing Star Trek as a way to get to Star Wars, because I think that's what he wanted. I mean, he's even said kind of as much. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so I wasn't paying attention to the time and realized we've been doing this for like 45 minutes. So yes, I think you're right. 45 minutes probably is an acceptable time.
This one was more chaotic.
Be like, oh, we have no closing remarks, but see y'all later. Good job, everybody.
This was more chaotic than yesterday's. So.
But it was good though, right?
It was fun. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
The audience. Audience, we're live to you.
So.
Everybody blink twice if you think this is a good podcast. I'm trying to hear them blink. I can't hear them over you, Nate. You need to be more quiet.
Do we have any viewers? Because that would have been funny.
No, I'm watching that number at the moment.
We have viewers? That'd be awesome.
I was also watching that number when Drew was making comments about his landlord. Just in case I'm like...
I've been like, yes!
How many?
Okay. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us once again on the Today's Geek podcast. This has been test number 2. We'll probably do maybe 1 or 2 more just to become a bit more comfortable with how this works, and also start
tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
Same bat time.
Same bat channel. The daily 45-minute cast.
But missed us. We're gonna run out of content by week 3. Everybody, come on.
We're just gonna read our Twitter feeds to you and hope we can find something.
By week 3, it just gets to be back in my day.
We didn't shove our controllers up our heart.
Alright, so that's all for this week. We'll catch you next time. Probably going to be
tomorrow. Huzzah!
We'll see about tomorrow. My guess is if we're gonna do it, we'll probably try to do it Wednesday because I think I gotta do stuff for wedding related stuff, which usually takes precedent.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah,
yeah, Wednesday.
That's not tomorrow. Follow us on Twitter at todays_geek.com. Follow us on Facebook at.
You give that the hand bob, throw them, gats in the air, gats in the air.
And we'll make sure to update all that social media stuff, or we're going live next time, because next time I'm okay with people joining. Maybe. We'll see. That's all for now. Thank you, and goodbye.